turn their ordinary TV into a magic box of video games.
There are so many of these games available that it's difficult to know which ones to buy. Then there are the electronic video games. You hook them up to your TV set. They're expensive. Top price, nearly $300.
And this is an ideal gift. Everyone can play it. Everyone can get involved.
What is the difference between a person that enjoys playing games and a gamer?
I have no idea.
Some would point to the type of game that is being played. There are those that believe that more casual games like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, and Sims aren't played by real gamers.
You're a gamer?
Absolutely, I'm a gamer.
It's almost as if you have to be perpetually miserable playing games in the hardest modes, fighting the most difficult bosses 100 times over, or screaming in frustration at all the screens in front of you in order to be considered to be in the realm of serious gamers. There are many other divides within the gaming community.
I'm absolutely certain that I am correct.
You are wrong!
First person versus third person, role players versus shooters, classics versus new, arcade and sliders, dark and gritty versus colorful and clean. Even with those divides and more, there is still one divide to rule over them all. By and large, the quickest way to cause an argument is to bring up which medium of playing is best, console or PC, controller or keyboard and mouse. Loyalties in either direction are incredibly strong and passionate. Very few people stand on truly neutral ground. Controller players grip their hands tight, while PC players will send their fingers flying over their keys just to tell you how superior they are. But are they wrong? Looking at it from a neutral standpoint as possible, there are certainly valid points on both sides. From a controller player's perspective, there are elements of familiarity and accessibility. You can't, in most cases, hand a 5-year-old a keyboard with no lessons and expect them to play a new game with it. However, you can certainly hand them a controller and, chances are, they will figure it out. With so few buttons, mashing them all will eventually allow you to figure out the mechanics of a game. On the opposite end, using a keyboard is infinitely more complex. Instead of 4 main buttons, you have 50+ options on a keyboard. Given enough time, most people can learn just about anything. But the fact is, the time it takes to learn a few buttons is much less than learning all of the keys on a keyboard while also pairing it with a mouse. There's also the matter of accessibility. As of making this video, the newest Xbox model, the Series X, cost about $499. The PlayStation 4 cost about $250 to $300, or the newer PlayStation 5, currently priced between $500 and $800, depending on the model and current stock levels. In comparison, the average beginner's level gaming PC clocks in at a whopping $2,000. While a console could require an extra controller for around $60 to $80, the amount of upgrades and swaps in a computer's lifetime can easily double the computer's cost. There's also the matter of access for kids who rely on their parent. On a list to Santa, it's easy for a kid to ask for an Xbox or PlayStation 5. It is far less easy to explain to parents what a graphics card is or the difference between liquid and air cooling. While there are some who would say those facts alone make PC gaming elite, there are others who would counter that difficulty doesn't equal better by default. Despite the obvious cons of entering PC gaming, there are just as obvious pros to consider. Once the skill of using a keyboard is mastered, you no longer have to cycle through the same 4 main buttons to use as controls. You can now bind any key to a specific control or mechanic, saving precious seconds within a game. For gamers who are also streamers, the best option, hands down, is PC gaming. Not that it's impossible to stream on a console, but it isn't practical. With PC, the ease of switching between windows and apps such as chat and gameplay is unparalleled. The face cam also doesn't block the gameplay like it does when streaming on console. With Wear on a keyboard, there is easy access to replace the keycaps with minimal technical skill needed. In contrast, it isn't easy to replace triggers and buttons within a controller without experience and specialized tools. That, of course, brings up an oldest time issue with controllers, the dreaded drift. Whether you are aiming down a scope or sliding around a corner, accurate movement is essential. But with the ravages of time or even a simple drop to the ground, it can have a controller drifting off mark, which nukes any and all precision and accuracy, none of which is a problem for keyboard and mouse players. So, mechanics and accessibility are variable, but what about visuals? Consoles are currently locked into 30 frames per second, while PC offers frame rates such as 120, 240, or even higher, going up to 360 frames per second for top-of-the-line equipment. This, paired with PC's ability to display at 4K, certainly skew better visuals towards PC. The gameplay is undoubtedly smoother, which is a significant argument for PC gaming being supposedly better. The last benchmark, for some, the only benchmark, is the level of customization.
That's all that matters.
This goes for game preferences, visuals, key binding, and of course, equipment customization. For consoles, maybe you get a different color controller, perhaps a vinyl skin to put on the console itself, but there isn't much else to customize. With PC gaming, however, there are infinite possibilities, different cases, internal parts that vary in performance and aesthetics, keyboard types, colors, key lights, mice shapes, sizes, options for buttons, monitors, and cameras. The list of possibilities could likely go on forever.
It never ends.
Ultimately, the question of which is better, PC or console, can't be answered objectively. It's all in the matter of comfort. Everyone's comfort level varies. Like most things in life, it all comes down to preference. Comfort versus style, familiarity versus range of options, standardization versus customization. When choosing between options, only personal needs versus wants should be considered, not the opinions or validations of others. It is important to remember the point of gaming is, and was always supposed to be, enjoyment. So above all, enjoy.